global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Yusuf Datti Ahmed, the vice presidential candidate on the Labour Party during the 2023 election, have decided to speak concerning the coalition. In fact, it's best to hear totally from him. Don't skip anything. He picked it one after the other. Of course, he already have an idea that if there's going to be a coalition and they move into coalition, most especially there has to be some sacrifice to be paid, and some persons are insinuating that he may be the sacrifice of him not being the VP. Whatever the case is, he had said to open up his mind and tell Nigerians exactly the situation. And I tell you the truth, he's saying it the way it is. And he opened up on the chances. The question now is, now, all of this coalition, let's tell ourselves the truth. Some of these guys are actually very selfish. He made mention of a lot of, calculations, and is there a Buhari in this coalition? Will they be able to beat Tinubu in this mathematics? Of course, he gave his conditions. And let's not forget, there was a primary reason why Peter Obi left a PDP. And now that primary reason is back in the coalition. This coalition, is the primaries going to be free, fair, and credible? Will Peter Obi truly be given the ticket? Of course. There's going to be a primary. Ameachi is interested in the ticket. Atiku is interested in the ticket. Of course, Peter Obi is interested in the ticket. But he said a lot of things, including the zoning. Why is Atiku not respecting the zoning? He took us on a journey and he told Nigerians what to expect, and he is not excited, even though he's in a coalition. Hear him as he tells us, do not skip anything. He said exactly what all Nigerians are scared to say, even though he's staring us in the face. We'll come back for more. Please watch these videos.
Position is right in all that it's doing. I agree wholeheartedly in coming together. The principles behind it, the objectives of it are all correct. But you're also playing somebody else's game. This game is Tinubu's game. And I'm not praising him in any way whatsoever. But everyone must understand the situation as it were. Please be patient. Let me, in summary, narrate everything. President Buhari, after losing the third time, cried to the world that he's done with politics. And that's when it began. There are internal issues with Buhari, but the external ones are, that is when Tinubu saw the opportunity, bring him back into the fold after the 07 Atiku and 11 Ribadu. Add the Southwest and the Tinubu influences to his existing 12 million votes. It was easy to convince Buhari to come back in any way because he carries a lot of baggage, who only survive from political donations. I'm sorry to say that's the truth. So Buhari just has to contest every election. Ever since the PTF days after the passing of Abacha, Buhari was removed from head of state without any trade whatsoever. So he and his can only live off a political system. But I'm not hitting at Buhari. Tinubu saw this opportunity, saw the weakness in Buhari, pumped a lot of money, brought his party machinery, and then injected his own agenda. That you go now, I'll make the name of being a kingmaker. I have made from councillor to governors. Now I want to make a president. If I make a president, I'll make myself a president. That is what happened. Coalition now is playing the scripts of Tinubu. I believe in the coalition, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you don't have to play the game the way he did. There are structural misgivings in the coalition as it were today. Buhari was the distant anointed from the ab initio. The convener, Tinubu, already had it, and whoever he enrolled was, understand that Buhari is going and after him I will come. And you have to buy into that. However, we won't stop you from contesting.
Yeah, but
let me finish.
We already got that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just that we haven't got all the time
I'm
in
saying,
the world, so I need to
Buhari was a distant anointed.
Right. You made that point.
This opposition does not have a distant anointed. So there will be a very close gap, and so there will be a very tight struggle. Possibly a not so clean primaries struggle for it. Now the question is, what will the after? I have said that there isn't a Buhari in the coalition. There isn't a Tinubu in this coalition. You don't have one.
So it's a free for all, basically, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right.
You have the proverbs better than I do.
Yeah, but
Peter Obi, I'll call him first, Ameachi, Atiku, and maybe Nasiru Elrufai. And they've come together from diverse backgrounds with a variety of interests. And out of these three, you can imagine that Atiku, Obi, and Ameachi clearly are front runners in this. It makes me think, how will the contest be?
That's a good point.
Because they are very close in the race, very, very close in the race. What will the aftermath of this contest be? That's why I made the analogy, the example with the Buhari case, who was a distant outlier very distant from the pack. All these three are very close together. Now, will two others still remain in the coalition if one takes it? Now, you're right. Let's come back to this unwritten understanding in Nigerian presidential politics. North 8, South 8, the rotation. I'm speaking from experience because I was directly involved. And it was part of my campaign speeches in 2022-23. Did you realize in 1819, from the two major parties, not a single Southerner even bought the INEC form for presidency? What does that say? Respect, brotherhood, gentlemanness, and all these things. And of course, Atiku contested in PDP and he won. It was not a question. Buhari was the candidate of APC and, Buhari took the day eventually. Come 2022-23, Atiku was still on the ticket. And now, Peter Obi came out from the south and contested. Ameachi contested and came second in APC, second to Tinubu, who is also from the south. So you see, three leading candidates. 2027, the default position thinking also is that it should be from the south. So if Atiku takes it, how will Ameachi and Peter Obi take it? Now, for the Peter Obi and Atiku, together they were either rigged out or defeated in 19. Apart, they were either rigged out or defeated in 2023. You come back together, hey guys, who are you playing with? Is this a joke? And the way I take Peter Obi, I think he is much, the position of VP is very big anyway. I wanted to be and I was rigged out. But I think Peter Obi should not be a VP, having gotten a disputed 10 million votes. Now you're starting to understand what I mean.
But he has made it clear.
Now, it is all about, listen, it is all about a narrative that was sold out to Nigeria very quickly. That to defeat Tinubu, it has to be our coalition. Coalition is good. But when in 2023 we defeated APC PDP, there was no coalition in Labour Party. The real coalition we need is in the ballot box.
Yeah, but that's
not a coalition. Not a coalition. Let's stop that. But please, let me get to my point. The real coalition is of votes at the ballot box. You protect them all the way to declaration. You present a coalition of politicians. You open the flanks for being attacked that they are geriatrics, and everything that you said about this. And you open the flanks for APC to be talking their jargon, when APC has worse than what they are saying about ADC. So in reality, what you need are the votes for a credible candidate, for a credible ticket.
Yeah, I think
there is no law.
Concedes that.
There is no law, there is no principle which says that it must be a coalition. Now that is a narrative that I kept saying, if you are challenging this narrative, you need to be careful. And if you're invited to a coalition, like I was, no level of firmness should tell you that don't go into that. Go and at least listen. See what they're doing. If you agree, continue. If you don't, do what your alternatives are. That is, they have sold it out to Nigeria that the only way to defeat Tinubu or APC is coalition, and that is wrong. A clean political party fielding the right candidate will beat APC hands down, even in the presence of that. For example, if Wike were to finish destroying the PDP and leave, PDP could go and join this coalition. Do you know that's possible?
Well, it depends on if the coalition want the PDP to join them.
Of course they will welcome. Of course they will. And later, if Labour Party decides they're inspired to join the coalition, they are very well welcome to join. That is why it's called a coalition. And when they join the coalition, then they will say our platform is ADC.
Right. Okay. Well,
I hope this is very clear.
I understand that, but let me.
I hope this is very clear. And it even sounds better that you go about in your PDP, keep calm, this elephant in the China ware shop, let him finish destroying, go and move into APC, and then come and say, look, here we are for the coalition. That's PDP, go and take themselves. And Labour Party, for any reason, we don't want to take the risks of letting Tinubu win again. And we think it is safer to join this coalition. They are welcome.
Yeah. But
it's even asking for air. I mean, I remember, with due respect, I remember Nasiru Elrufai dancing his eyes around and saying, if the heavens will come down to earth, Bola Ahmed Tinubu must be sworn in as president. I remember that clearly.
I remember that as well.
And I remember him walking out of the Senate. And I remember them saying that, look, the same APC he did, they said that there's a security file on him. He can't be a minister. I also remember in less than a year later, he wants to kick out. I remember everything that's, between Elrufai and so many other leaders, that he now goes to kneel down and greet again. I'm gasping for air. I don't understand what is going on. There are people who have been in this government for 24 years. They've been out of it only 2 years, and they are crying and shouting, we must throw this government out. I have been in parliament only 4 years and 8 months, and I'm as happy as I can be. I believe I can defeat President Tinubu very, very comfortably. I have never been in the executive, and so many things. I have never issued any government contract, unless if they want to lie at me. There's nothing. I take people to EFCC. They don't take me to EFCC. Yeah, but we're in the same room with people that I never imagined will be. And I doubt what people can do for power. This underscores why I say we should not be misled, consumed by this excitement.
Yeah.
Because, as they say in English, when the chips are down and it's time to do primaries, what kind of primaries is Atiku going to do with an Ameachi? You know how Atiku does primaries? Mercilessly. I remember those dollars flying. Well, we're in the same coalition, but in Port Harcourt, I remember the dollars flying. Remember, I'm with Atiku. Atiku, I'm with you. Please, if you're hearing me, we're in the same coalition. And then, what kind of primaries are they going to do? Am I going to deceive myself, okay, that all is going to be well in this ADC? The beginning of good governance if you run good primaries.